after incorrectly telling an American news outlet that the Queen's coffin will be transported over to the UK from Scotland. The journalist who penned Harry and Meghan's biography has apologized. Reporter Omid Scobie, who is highly regarded by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, recently appeared to imply that Scotland does not belong to the United Kingdom. He also incorrectly stated that one of the royal trains would bring Her Majesty to London, when in fact there is only one such train and the monarch will be flown there. After the public learned of the Queen's death, the 41-year-old took to Twitter to explain that his comments had been made in the chaos of breaking news. This happened on ABC News on Thursday, September 8, when he was explaining to viewers what would happen to the Queen's body after her death at Balmoral Castle. The royal expert predicted that Her Majesty will be laid to rest at Edinburgh's smallest palace before the casket was transported to the United Kingdom via one of the royal trains. The Queen's body will be flown from Edinburgh Airport to RAF Northolt outside of London on Wednesday. But he did apologize for his slip of the tongue that made it sound like Scotland had broken out from the rest of the United Kingdom. Scobie wrote on Twitter, "Turns out in the chaos of breaking news on September 8 I accidentally said Scotland to UK, rather than Scotland to England, when explaining travel aspects of Operation Unicorn. An honest slip of the tongue." Scobie, who in 2020 co-authored Harry and Meghan's memoir Finding Freedom, has been a vocal supporter of the couple in recent years. In his role as royal editor for the American website Harper's Bazaar, he has been one of the few journalists to have a personal relationship with the couple since their relocation to the United States. Thousands of mourners have been waiting in line at Edinburgh's St. Giles Cathedral for hours to pay their respects to the late Queen. Before her coffin was taken to London on Tuesday, King Charles and his siblings paid their respects on Tuesday. A short parade was followed by the Vigil of the Princes, in which King Charles III and the Princess Royal, Prince Andrew, and Prince Edward each stood on one of the four corners of the oak casket with their heads bent. The Duke of York kept his eyes closed for a period of time during the 10-minute vigil, while the Princess Royal and Earl of Wessex had their eyes fixed towards the floor. The king, his eyes moistening, kept his hands joined and also looked towards the floor as members of the public filed past. The king and his family stood alongside four-suited members of the Royal Company of Archers, who were standing guard dressed in long feathered hats and armed with arrows and quivers. Thousands of mourners who had been flowing past the casket all afternoon were temporarily stopped so that royals could take their places. Once the vigil began, though, people kept trickling by to catch a glimpse of the historic event. Officials anticipate tens of thousands of mourners to visit Westminster Hall on Wednesday to pay their respects to Her Majesty's coffin. On Monday, September 19, her funeral will be placed at Westminster Abbey. Guests will include international leaders and members of the royal family. The following day, she will be buried in St. George's Chapel in Windsor after a committal service.